Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your December 2018 general readings. Thank you for joining us here today. Welcome to any newcomers, and thank you for all your support, feedback, and comments. Like, share, subscribes. Thanks to all of my clients out there, both regular and new, for keeping me so wonderfully occupied with personal one-on-one readings. If any of you are interested in a personal one-on-one reading with me, you can get more info and contact details by going to my YouTube channel's homepage and clicking on the little About button there. Or you can click on the description bar of any of the videos that I post. Please feel free to email me directly at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you. Turnaround time is pretty good, although during the holidays, the sooner booked the better. Because I do readings full time, 5 to 6 days a week. It is what I do, so I'm pretty diligent in trying to coordinate schedules together, particularly for live readings. So send me an email if you're interested. I do a wide variety of readings in all areas of life, of all different types and lengths. So those of you who are interested, reach out. I'd be happy to work with you. You can also find me on the smartphone app Instantgo under Irish Gypsy, and that link is also provided. And that's good, particularly for fast answers to the fast, simple questions. For more intensive or complicated situations, conventional readings are probably a bit better, or traditional readings. So a few options to look at. All right, let's get right into this. This reading is for the water sign of Pisces, our lovely mercurial fish, Pisces, for the month of December 2018. You know, general readings can always resonate a little differently for everybody watching. So if this doesn't resonate with you, you may want to check your rising and your moon sign videos as well. They can also provide, watching those can also provide additional clarification. All right, Pisces, let's see what's in store for you for the month of December 2018. Okay, Pisces, we begin with the Six of Pentacles, followed by the Lovers. We have the Page of Swords, followed by the Eight of Cups. We have the Six of Wands, followed by the Five of Pentacles, and the Three of Swords, followed by the Three of Cups. And from the bottom of the deck, overall energy, guidance, and focus for the month of December is the Fool. So those of you who follow me regularly know that when I do the monthly and mid-monthly cards, I usually pull 2 cards per week with a card from the bottom of the deck for overall energy and guidance. The timing is usually 2 cards per week, but timing is always fluid, and the cards can also include, you know, energies from the past that may be affecting the situation as well. So Pisces, it looks like there's a choice that an important or significant choice that you need to make about the equality in a situation, the give and take of a situation, because we begin with the Six of Pentacles and the Lovers. I am recording these in the last few days of November. The Lovers represents needing to make a significant choice. Now, this choice could be about a partnership. It could be a romantic partnership, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. It could also be best friends, even work too. Although typically when the Lovers comes up, it usually represents making a choice that's either about a significant or primary relationship or partnership, or making a decision that will have in another area of your life that will have an effect on your relationship with another individual. And the Lovers implies that it's a pretty strong, passionate, connective relationship. Could be twin flame, karmic energy, soulmate energy. In the early tarot decks, the Lovers used to be called the Choice, and it showed a man standing in front of 2 women or a woman standing in front of 2 men, the implication being that a choice was going to need to be made, which would significantly affect the lives of everyone involved. Now, that is not to say every time the Lovers card comes up that the choice is between, you know, choosing between 2 people, although it may be for some of you. But typically it represents needing to make a choice that's going to impact a relationship, a partnership, and an important one too. Now, what crowns the Lovers, well, which came out first, is the Six of Pentacles. The Lovers is the clarification for this. The Six of Pentacles Pentacles is earth energy, and this usually manifests in the earthly parts of your life: money, finance, property, job, resources, assets, etc. Or it represents the work, the effort we put into creating and building things in our lives, whether the relationships or spiritual paths. The Six of Pentacles is kind of the tic-tac card. This is a card that talks about giving and receiving, the balance in between, or imbalance in between that as well. It can speak of being on the receiving end, or it can speak of being on the giving end. Who gives, who takes. In its beautiful completion energy or right energy, the Six of Pentacles would represent a relationship or a partnership that is mutually beneficial. Each party kind of gives and takes in a more or less equitable or equal way. Mutual love, mutual affection, mutual respect, mutual effort into the relationship. In work, it can represent that you're putting in everything you need to do on your work, and whoever's giving back from that, your boss, your supervisor, how you get your money is giving back. It's a mutually beneficial relationship because people are giving and receiving in a more or less equal way. It could also represent needing to be more giving, or need to be more open to giving, or more receptive to receiving as well. And what clarifies it is that decision, is that choice, that important choice. So for some of you, this might be in a relationship. It could be that you need to make a significant choice about the relationship, about this partnership. And this choice is kind of based on the energy that drives this choice, or needing to make this choice, is on how equitable is the situation. If this is like a romantic personal relationship, like boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, the choice needs to be, it looks like the implication that this is here is implying that one person in the relationship may feel like they're giving more than they're receiving. It could be you that feels like you're giving more than somebody else is receiving, or vice versa. And there's kind of a choice that needs to be made about this. In moving forward. Should this relationship continue? Is it worth continuing to invest in? Am I getting what I need out of this situation? Am I giving what I need to give in this situation? And if the answer is no to either one of those questions, am I capable, or are they capable of, of being able to do more or give more, or at least learn more about that? So there's this kind of choice on the table there, decisions that need to be made. Now, next to that, we have the Page of Swords and the Eight of Cups. So the energy of these two, the Page of Swords is air energy, and it's mental, cerebral, intellectual energy. It's about how we look at things, what our belief systems are, our ideologies are, how we use our brain, our perceptions, because that directly affects the way that we see, relate, and communicate to the world and to people in the world, our thoughts, our words, our ideas. So it's all about energy that goes on up here, which can also represent truth, enlightenment, higher education, learning, mental energy. Pages are just starting out. They're always at the beginning path, and an introductory path. They're at the beginning of a path of learning, of growing. Page of Swords pages can sometimes represent messages and messengers. So the Page of Swords, pages have a lot to learn because they're just starting out on the path. So they may be, this Page of Swords, if he's delivering a message, if he's speaking his truth, because Swords energy and the Page of Swords can sometimes represent being also, and I'm feeling this for some of you, being in a situation where your truth, for example, if for those of you for whom this may resonate as a relationship reading or partnership reading, really in any kind. I mean, general readings, vary, of course, in the areas of life it resonates in. For some of you, this might be something to do with your money life, your work, career life, a project of another kind, or a personal relationship. The details and specifics may vary, but the energy is the same. The Page of Swords can represent being in a situation where you're called upon internally. There's something about this situation that puts you in a place where you need to speak your truth. You need to, back up perhaps what previously you've thought, this is, who I am, this is what I need, this is what I believe in, your morals, your ethical foundations. It can represent being in a situation where you need to stand up and speak whatever your truth is. And perhaps because it's showing up as a page, you may be feeling, the situation may feel kind of a bit overwhelming or intimidating. But the Page of Swords, pages often haven't had enough life experience yet to kind of temper themselves with some of the restrictions that we put on ourselves as we get older. So the Page of Swords can represent being in a place where you need to speak your truth, and it may be kind of scary, and you have this opportunity to speak your truth, and you may not do it perfectly, but it's about choosing what you feel is your truth. So for example, if this is a relationship, you need to make a decision on whether or not this relationship is viable moving forward. Can you give and receive what you need in the relationship? Can the other person give and receive in the relationship so that the relationship maintains this equitable and healthy balance? And what do you actually need in the relationship? The Page of Swords can represent speaking your truth. Like, this is what I need and this is what I expect. Even though it's a situation where if you speak your truth, there may be a very realistic chance that, the two of you come to a realization, or you come to a realization that maybe you can't be what the other person needs you to be, or the other person can't be and isn't willing to explore, giving you or being able to give you what you need and want to. But regardless, if you want to continue forward one way or the other, you need to kind of speak your truth. So the Page of Swords can often represent that as well. And he does. He may not do it perfectly, but he's the Page of Swords too, so he will, speak his truth. Now what clarifies it is the Eight of Cups, which is a card of walking away or leaving something behind you, particularly emotionally, because cups is water energy, and in the tarot this is the energy of the heart, emotions, feelings, relationships, that kind of corner of your life. The Eight of Cups represents turning your back on something or leaving something and walking away, because while you have tasted and drunk from most of these cups, ultimately it's not to your joy and fulfillment. It may represent something that you, at the beginning when you first started drinking from it, you thought it was what you wanted, that it was going to nurture and sustain you. But at some point during the process, even if you haven't finished all of these cups, you just realize, this isn't my truth. This isn't what I want. This isn't bringing me joy and fulfillment. So it's about, I feel, especially considering that there's a choice to be made about the equitability in the relationship, whether it's a healthy, balanced relationship of give and take, whether it's in a romantic relationship or a family relationship or a friend relationship or a work relationship. It's about you speaking your truth, even if you know that the cost of speaking that truth may be that you have to walk away, that you have to separate from this situation, from this relationship, from this partnership, regardless. So next to that, we have the Six of Wands, followed by the Five of Pentacles. So the Six of Wands is a card of victory, and triumph after a challenge, because otherwise what is there to be victorious about? I mean, this man went off to do something. Slay a dragon, rescue a princess, heal a relationship, or make a decision to leave it behind so they can go forward and have a healthy relationship, job, work, career. Went off to struggle, to deal with whatever the situation is, and he's writing back victoriously. This is a card that can also represent receiving awards or public recognition or acclaim somehow, because he's being publicly recognized for his victory and his success as well. And this represents significant success too, not just, this isn't a small success, this is a pretty significant success and victory. Now what clarifies it is the Five of Pentacles. So here we have Pentacles, which is more earth energy here. Now, this is a card that can represent insufficiency and lack, not having enough of something or feeling not enough. In financial or monetary or job situations, this can represent not having enough money, robbing Peter to pay Paul, being in need. But it can also represent that even though you may feel that way, there's something right in front of you or something in your environment that you're not seeing, or you're seeing and dismissing, you're discounting it, that can be of help and assistance. Because you can see these two people, this couple, standing outside of what appears to be a church or a cathedral, and there's this golden light shining out through it. They're in need. And other tarot decks are sometimes depicted as being outside in the rain or the snow. It almost kind of implies that they're homeless, or they're in great need. There's a negativity, there's a lack, there's an insufficiency there, whether it's in financial or monetary, financial in the actual pentacles arena of your life, like money, finances, property, or the work, the effort that you're putting into something, not getting enough back for what you're giving. That could be an emotional or relationship sense. In an emotional sense, it can represent feeling abandoned, rejected, not good enough, left out in the cold, kind of. But this light represents that there is something there that is the source of what you need, of comfort, of stability, of help, of resources. And so there's this victory that's achieved from this. Now, this is going to play out a little differently depending on what's going on in the lives of everybody who's watching and needs to hear this. For some of you, it may represent, especially since it's right next to that Page of Swords, that this victory is really about speaking your truth, even if you feel the truth may cost you a relationship of some kind or a partnership or situation of some kind. And perhaps as a page, regardless of your age, perhaps speaking your truth, if it's going to cost, if it's going to come at a high cost, has been difficult for you, or you don't have a very good history of doing that. Because if you feel speaking your truth may cause loss, then maybe it's been your habit to kind of keep quiet. And this is about actually moving up into a different level for yourself of growth and evolution in who you are as a human being. For some of you, this victory is going to be that you speak your truth, whether or not it ends up costing you, you end up having to walk away from what you know isn't good for you, even though you're emotionally attached to it. And this is a victory for you in terms of your own growth and knowledge and awareness and spiritual evolution. Because you're no longer willing to be in a relationship or a situation where you're giving and you don't feel like you're getting back, and you don't feel like there's the possibility, and you need to speak your truth about that and act your truth out about that as well. And some of you, this is going to be, some of you, in regards to this situation, this relationship, this partnership, whatever the nature of it is, some of you are going to be successful in moving forward, remaining in this situation or relationship or partnership after speaking your truth and kind of going through this process. If it's a relationship that's been rocky and you haven't been speaking your truth because you're afraid, if you do, both to him and say it out loud to yourself, that there's going to end up being a split because there's not a possibility at this time for this relationship to be healthy and balanced and equitable for both of you. It could be that some of you, I feel like some of you are going to be progressing through this together with the other person or the other partner, and that's where this victory comes from. For others of you, the truth, not only to the other person, but the fact that you speak it out loud cements it for you. It kind of brings that knowledge together in a very practical way that, it's achieving victory over perhaps bad habits or ideologies you had about, what it might cost to speak the truth. And you're actually succeeding through that because you're making a decision. I am no longer going to allow myself to be in situations, relationships, partnerships, personal, business, friend, or otherwise, where I'm putting in all this effort and feeling like it's not enough and then I'm not getting enough back. The well isn't getting replenished, so eventually it'll run dry. So, it depends on who you are. Now, at or towards the end of December 2018, we have the Three of Swords and the Three of Cups. So the Three of Swords can be a card of heartbreak, heartache, emotional pain. It can represent breakup, particularly if it's a breakup or a difficult time in a relationship because of three people. And we do have that Lovers. Sometimes the implication is making a choice between two people. There may be another person's energy involved in this or was in the past. There may be a breakup for some of you. But I feel like this Three of Swords, emotional energy, this pain, I feel like this has been present in this situation, that this situation has been unbalanced for some time. And this pain has been there from time to time throughout it, but perhaps you haven't been speaking your truth about it, and maybe neither has the other person, and this is finally kind of coming out. So for some of you, it may represent a breakup in terms of you make a decision that this relationship, this partnership, this situation is not in your best interest, and you move forward. And some of you, it's just about kind of healing from that, because the Three of Swords is clarified by the Three of Cups. you're dealing with this and you're moving on. The Three of Cups is a card of celebration, of getting out, of being social, of enjoying yourself, particularly with people you feel good with, friends, family, people who get you. Now, again, this is going to resonate a few different ways. There may be for some of you a walking away or a decision to end a certain partnership, relationship, etc., regardless of the nature of it. But the Three of Cups represents good friends, family, positive connections in your community. What may be helping you and cradling you and supporting you during this time may be friends, family, community. It could be a spiritual or religious path and the people involved in that too. And that's kind of, even though those of you who are leaving something behind are doing it because you know it's the best thing to do, there is still pain associated with it, but you're getting through that and you have people around you to kind of help you during this time. Some of you, those of you who are going to be, for whom this victory card means that you're able to successfully continue in the relationship partnership situation. You're finally coming together in a way where you really kind of connect and understand each other a little better. It just kind of depends on what's going on in your own individual life. Also, you know, we're looking at the time period of Christmas and New Year's, so some of this lovely celebratory energy can be that as well. However it resonates for you, it looks like at the end of the month, whether or not you've walked away from something, there's things and people around you that are helpful to you, that are very positive and uplifting for you through this path, or together as well. Because it's about moving forward into a new beginning, which is your overall energy with the Fool here. It's about taking a risk, stepping off the beaten path, doing something different, especially when it's about speaking your own personal truth about your needs and your wants and what you need moving forward. And you're doing that. You took a leap of faith and you did that, and it represents a victory for you, particularly in your growth as a human being. And if you continue together with this other person or this situation, for the both of you as well, so that this can be an equitable, healthy, balanced relationship moving forward. Because the Fool blazes his own trail. He steps out of his own comfort zone and just goes on. So just because this looks, you know, some of it looks a little more challenging, I'm going to just pull a card to see what the next energetic step will be, the energy coming in just kind of on the heels of this. Here we go, Ace of Pentacles, a new beginning, something new starting again, which we already know with the Fool. It feels like an evolutionary curve, an evolutionary bump up this month, Libra, regardless of what the situation is or how it plays out for you. I'm going to pull a final advice card on what the best way, what Spirit wants you to know is the best way to navigate through whatever this is for the month of December. We have two cards that came out. The Seven of Wands, which I feel it's a defensive card, and that could be positive or negative, but I knew it as soon as it came out. Advice from Spirit is dropping your defenses, is letting go of whatever it is that you've maybe have invested a lot in, and you're just holding on to it. You're protecting, defending, guarding it. You don't want to let go of it because of what you've invested in it. And again, this could be on one side or the other, but I feel quite strongly that Spirit is saying it's time for you to drop your defensiveness about guarding it. It doesn't necessarily mean you're going to leave it behind, but it's about dropping this stubborn, blind kind of defensiveness about, I'm not going to let go of it, even if it's not good for me, simply because of everything I've invested in it. So Spirit is asking you to drop those defenses and take a realistic look at it, a clear look at it. And Strength, which is about facing your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, wrestling with your demons, getting past your own bad habits and your own self to move forward into the future. The Seven of Wands, when what I'm getting from Spirit is about dropping your defenses regardless of how much you've invested in it. My example or analogy, my favorite one is always, it reminds me of that there's a saying, don't hold on to a mistake simply because you spent a long time making it. It does not mean that the effort was wasted, particularly if you gave and you loved, even if you didn't get the same thing back. You still contributed, to the greater good out there. But don't hold on to a mistake just because, if you can see that it's really not good for you and doesn't have the chance of improving, don't hold on to it just because you spent a lot of time making the mistake or being there. So that's your advice for December 2018, Pisces. I hope that this has been helpful for you. Yeah, there's some challenging parts in it. I mean, that's just how life goes sometimes. But you really, I mean, the last half of the month, the energy is quite positive. And Christmas and New Year's too, so I hope everyone has a blessed holiday. Again, if any of you are interested in any more personal one-on-one reading with me, please feel free to email me directly at Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. I'd be most happy to work with you. I do love and romance, of course, relationship compatibility charting, reconciliation potential, career, work, and finance, as well as investment readings. And I do 6 and 12 month overviews, which are particularly popular this time of year, although you can do them any time of the year. It's a pretty cool spread that looks at what's coming in all the main areas of your life over the next 6 or 12 months, depending on how far ahead you want to look. And a lot of people like ordering them this time of the year as we're transitioning out of one year and looking forward at the next year. And gift readings as well, personal readings as gifts for friends, family, and loved ones during the holidays. So a few choices for you to consider. You can get all that information by clicking on the description bar of any of the videos I post, or you can go to my YouTube channel's homepage and click on the little About button there. So Pisces, I will see you all again in a couple of weeks for the December mid-month readings. And until then, as always, I wish you joy, peace, blessings, and a happy life. Take care. Bye-bye.